Today we're going to be talking about insights around closing escrow on a home in the high desert or the Inland Empire. And there's no doubt that when you do close escrow, it's an exciting milestone. And if you made it to this point in the process, congratulations. But before the keys are finally handed over, there's still plenty that needs to happen. You should continue to watch this video as I will explain what happens the week of closing and how to avoid typical delays. Now, this is how you as a seller can prepare for closing day. Once an offer is accepted on a home, you, the seller, will feel like the hard part's done, but not so fast. The real work is just beginning. Here are 6 very important things you get off your to-do list before closing date. Number 1, you're going to want to make sure everything has been boxed up. Now, you've probably done this even before the house went on the market, but just in case, there are still items that had been held back, or you're probably aware because you've already been through it that packing up everything is not a whole lot of fun. So we suggest that you either have a buyout company, or if there's a lot of personal property, you have an estate sale help you with that process. Now, when you hire people to help you do things like box up the personal property, you're going to want to have a little jaunt to the ATM so that you have some money to tip people, because you want people to treat the items nicely, and when there's a little cash ka-chink that goes into their pocket, they tend to be easier to work with, so tip generously. Okay, number 2. You probably have already gone through the disclosures with your real estate agent and hopefully a certified probate real estate advisor, because when you listed the home, you had all of this documentation to take care of and you wanted to get it done way ahead of time. So you're going to want to make sure your agent got the disclosures back from the buyer, that they have fully signed everything as well. We call that fully executed. And they are now in the file, and that way you're protected and the estate is also protected. I like to call this cleanup. Number 3, when we put the house on the market, we most likely soft staged it and we had it professionally cleaned, including the windows. If there's been a lot of going in and out of the home, like one property here in Redlands where we had an estate sale, so the floors got dirty and people used the bathroom. I believe that if the house gets dirty during that process, it's nice to have me help you by hiring someone to go back in and just do a final cleaning so your buyer has a nice clean home to move into. We'll want to make sure that the countertops are cleaned off and the appliances are wiped down. And again, the floors are swept and the dusting that needs to be done is done. And let's make sure that those toilets are clean and sparkling as well for your new buyer. Now, if the lawn needs to be mowed, we can make sure that gets done for you too. And that way, when your buyer moves in, they're very happy, and honestly, it really doesn't cost the estate a tremendous amount of money just to provide a nice, clean house, which most people want to do for their buyers. Now, number 4, there's going to come a time when you're going to want to cancel the utilities and the trash. Now, what my team does is we have a system in place where we send an email to you, and I also will speak to you about it, but the email is going to let you know it's time to turn off utilities, and we also send an email to your buyer's agent that they should let their client know to take care of getting the gas, getting the electric and the water, and sometimes the trash put into their names as of the day of closing. It's really important to me that the buyers don't end up without any water. And, you know, that happened one time when we were selling a home, that somehow they didn't receive the information from their agent, and they got to the home on a Saturday and they didn't have water till the following Tuesday. So it's just a considerate way of taking care of the buyers so that they aren't without any utilities in that first moving in time frame. We want them and you to have a blank canvas. And we know that selling your loved one's home is stressful, it's overwhelming, and in many cases, it takes that emotional toll on you. So keep in mind, it's also stressful for the buyer. And when you leave the house, we want to leave it completely empty. How empty? Very empty. We want to hear an echo in there. And if you want to leave a gift for the buyer, and some people do, like a scented candle or a bottle of wine, that's fine. But we don't want to leave any food in the fridge or trash in the trash can. Number 5, a few days or maybe even a week prior to the closing of escrow, you, the seller, and the buyer will need to sign a variety of legal documents. Now, the escrow company will be in touch with you, and they will have mailed you those documents or mostly overnighted those documents to you or the notary. And then if you have questions about those documents, please contact your escrow company. I'm always here to help, but they are the experts with those documents from escrow. So who pays for what? You will see on the estimated closing statement that the buyer pays for their closing costs and you, the seller, pay for your closing costs. And you will have already received from me an estimated seller's proceeds document. So you'll have a pretty good idea of what you're going to be paying for and what you will not be paying for. You'll have an estimate of all the expenses, and you'll also have an estimate of other taxes that you might not have to pay until further into the future, or anything else that was agreed to in the purchase agreement, such as paying for a home warranty for your buyer. Now, a few days before closing, you will receive escrow's estimated seller proceeds document, and we will look it over carefully together and make sure that there isn't any expense on there that we didn't expect. And then what happens? Number 6. After all the paperwork is put together and the buyer's final funds arrive from themselves, their lender will also send their funds if there's a lender involved. All those funds will come to escrow, and we will get ready to do what we call closing escrow. How that happens is escrow and title send over all the documentation to be recorded at the county recorder's office, and once that happens, we'll be notified. They'll send me an email. I will call you and let you know you are no longer responsible for your loved one's home. This is when the keys are handed to the buyer, and if you find this of value, please like, comment below. I'll always answer you, and subscribe to this channel so the algorithm will know to share this with others just like you going through the process of being responsible for a loved one's home. Closing on a house seems a considerable undertaking, but if you know what to expect, you can avoid roadblocks and common pitfalls. The secret is to be prepared. As always, enlisting the help of an experienced professional will help you navigate through the process, and of course, partnering with an experienced, knowledgeable, and professional will help you navigate through that process with more confidence. If you have a home that you are responsible for in the Inland Empire or the high desert area, please feel comfortable reaching out to me. We're here to help. Thanks for watching. See you next time.